Welcome back to Truth, Juice, and Company, a show where juicing ain't for veggies and fruits, but for jokey jokes and truths, where all minds and perspective can flourish. It's your soon-to-be host of the year, Mikael, a.k.a. Duke, a.k.a. the best, a.k.a. Big Body Baby. I'm here giving you mini episodes of mixology. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about special guests, forms of reality, if there's a difference in an absence or abusive father, and what personality we don't want in our future kids. So, grab a glass, sit back, relax, and every time you agree with one of us, take an extra sip. I hope you enjoy. Peace. What's going on, guys? We are back and we are better again and again and again with extra more people. Remember, we got Daft to my right and Elise to my left, and the fine young man to the far left is Equan. Everybody give a round of applause for Equan. Yes. He's a little shy. It's fine. He gonna liven up once you feel me? Yeah. Nice. So, tell us about you, Mr. Equan. We got a nice little display just for you. Tell us what you got going on here.
So this is my little small business called B Company. I started this up this year, and no, I started in May.
May, March, which one?
January, February, March, April, May.
May.
Got it. 5/25. Why 5/25? That's when I started. Also because I wore number 5 football, and that's my senior year, and 25 my senior year.
Nice.
It just kind of happened. It's like, ooh,
he's artsy like that.
Coincidence, universe, you know.
Hey, it was meant to be.
Exactly.
That's why you got it done. So you want to explain a little bit about what you got, what you're looking to do in your company?
So basically, I just want to be creative. That's like one of the biggest things that I was lacking. I used to have, I was lacking. During college, towards the end of college and after graduating, I was like, I had the motivation to just do anything. I used to draw a lot. So it was like, let me do something to put extra time on my hands and just be creative, get lost, have fun. And then I started to realize that I could actually, make stuff and sell it and just have fun doing it. And basically, like the 3 top things that I want to mention in my company is, for people as well as to be great, be expressive, and be creative.
Can you explain to us where the B comes from?
Oh, the B comes from my last name and my first name. So my last name Brooks, and then my first name E, and then company. It originally was supposed to be like for, because I went to school for health promotion exercise science. I was trying to do like my own name brand for fitness type of personal training. That didn't work out, so I was really supposed to be fit, be great. But then I just kept thinking, they kept criticizing and making up new names, and I just came up with B. I don't know where it came from, just B Company. I
like it.
It has a flow, so I was like, all right, cool. So I liked it, and I just rolled with it. And this is what I got. More things over there. So
come check it out. Make sure you check it out. You got a website?
No website yet. Just Instagram. B Company 025.
Spell it out for the people who are illiterate.
BECOMPANY 0525.
0525.
Why you really like me so much?
First of all. Anyway.
Thank you, Equan.
Yeah, for sure. We're giving more nice.
Is it just hats?
It's hats. I have some Fisher vests that I like. I just like style. That's like a style I like. So my thing is kind of like nature theme kind of thing. Just going out in nature, go hiking.
Some chop some wood.
Chop some wood. Go camping. Sweaters are coming soon.
Hey,
I got me a bucket hat.
Bucket hats. I'm just trying to get as much stuff as I can and just be creative and just
sunglasses with the B in the company. That'd be crazy.
Sunglasses, wristband, whatever.
B Company. Copyright me for that one.
I'm gonna get my hands on a lot of things and just have fun with it.
Okay.
Try to process it.
Are you with us?
I am.
You are. Just want to make sure she's here.
Here.
Being that shit. Mm-hmm.
I like to move it.
She just be saying her. Yup.
Yep. That's goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm crying. Well, again, make sure you support our Black-owned businesses. We got our boy Equan with the B Company. Go on his Instagram. It is again what?
BECOMPANY 0525.
Nice.
Sounds like a commercial.
0525. I can come with a jingle easy. You know, if y'all know me, I'll be in my car.
525.
Ain't nothing like to be in the company.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to hit.
I'm crying.
You're starting to hit already?
So, Mr. Equan,
Yes.
we all know you in different ways. Can you explain to us whoever you want to start off with? Because I know I'm your favorite, but we just going to talk about how you met each and every one. You can go in any order. Please start with this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. With this.
Yeah, because
She's right here. So I met Annalise.
I remember the first time I met you.
I met Annalise through a friend in Grasso, which was her sweet mate.
The swim team mate.
Swim
Team member, teammate.
I met Annalise through her. I had a thing for her when I was like, oh, she looked good, you know, but
her? Who's her?
Annalise.
Oh, okay.
But it was kind of like, it didn't go through. So I was like, but we remained friends. It was, it was all good.
Relatable.
And, and it just so happened that Annalise was cool with Dav at some point. So I was like, oh, I didn't know you were cool with him. Then I met Dav.
Oh, you know Dav first? Or you knew of Dav first?
I think
I met you end of freshman year at Chestnut Party.
Yeah.
I think I probably met you sophomore year.
Yeah, my first, my memory shot. So I kind of don't remember when, but I know how and what happened and where it was, but no years now.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the sophomore year, and I think it was because of homegirl, whose name will not be said.
Yes.
Your roommate.
He wants to know.
I sure do. I'll find out later.
I was about to be like, but I forgot the mic.
I'm crazy.
But yeah, I met Annalise, I guess at Chestnut.
Chestnut.
At a party.
Yes. It was a lit party too.
Yeah, it was a lit party.
It was fun. It was my first time going
I'm about
out.
to say, Annalise at a party?
Well, yeah, I was gonna.
She used to party.
Man,
Not really freshman year. It was one of
No.
more of those times that my swim team person friend was taking me out just to get me out there. But I wasn't drinking or anything. I was kind of just like, hi people.
Okay.
Well.
What about this one?
Yeah. So from
this one.
Duke.
Word.
I met Duke. I don't remember when.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I would say
it had to be football.
Probably camp.
Yeah, I would say. Well, his locker was next to mine.
But
all 4 years though.
Not all 4 years.
Yeah.
Freshman year, you had to meet me.
You were close.
Sophomore year.
It was more sophomore year. That's when we went to the other locker.
Yeah.
But your locker was, I think, next to mine. I know last year, our final year, it was
for sure.
How we met, I don't know.
Me neither.
I really don't know.
Not even the slightest.
To capitalize on that, Duke, our senior, playing football, he was in there, my locker roommate on my left side.
Yeah.
Annoying the fuck out of me.
My own friend.
But I let him be because that was Duke. I was like, bro, he's not gonna change. Because apparently he just don't get the hint that I just don't want to bother him.
I remember when he used to come back to the dorm. I was like,
bro, Duke is always
Duke's
bothering me. Bro, Duke would literally come down, sit next to me. Yo, bro, I'm in the zone, just like chilling. Bro, I'm like, bro, why you gotta touch me so? Why you gotta be so loud, bro? I was like, I used to get there early to get dressed, be like, all right, I get the fuck out of here. He was the reason why I was never late to practice. That ass, but he was cool. Like, he low key. I smile on my face like, this dude is a jokester, bro. But that was like my finer memories of Duke. Just last year, just
I'm dead. Final memories.
Finer.
No, finer memories. Yeah. Like all the memories I know of.
I'm on the good
that
ones.
last year of last year of football was like the most I could right there. You know what I mean? So that's what I remember of Duke. But other than that, I seen him around campus. Yeah, everybody knew who Duke was.
Everybody knew the guy. You
So,
feel me? I wasn't as big body back then.
Modeling.
Oh yeah.
BSU.
Yeah. Black Student Union.
Yeah, modeling that too. You know, you was in there. I was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably there first before me. Definitely.
Probably, yeah.
I was part of BSU, but I wasn't doing modeling. So.
Yeah. I made modeling.
You guys modeled together. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yo, those used to actually kind of go big.
Sure did. Because you know who was in it? This guy. I mean,
We supported you guys pretty heavily. I hope y'all know. Like the whole room would always come down, videos ready, cameras ready.
I can't hear nobody. Can't see nobody. I don't know.
I can't see no one.
Nothing.
It was literally straight light.
Well, I just made sure it was on the snap so you guys knew that we came out to support you.
Yeah, I went to the games for him because the brother was on site.
We
barely
know.
knew I was.
We know.
Even though I started and played, and people barely knew I was on the team. Some people were like, "You was on the football team?" I was like,
Yeah.
You ever got that from one of your teammates?
Like if they didn't know I was on the football team?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Everybody knew.
kind of.
Because you guys did a lot of football players, at least in the beginning or something. Like I was like,
in camp prior to
Yeah.
they all we all have meetings where it's all of us and then we separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You separate into offense and defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
Okay.
and then
Positions.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Look at her knowing shit. Oh, shit.
I had time to observe.
Okay. So we already went over
Daphne.
Okay.
Don't know what year. Met Daphne at a party in Student Center, Campus Center, one on the West Side.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her and Anna. And I knew Nadia, but Nadia was there too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I first met Daphne.
Mm.
Was this when I came up to you and
Drunk
was
as
like,
fuck. When I said she ran into me, bro, when I was just I was kind of sitting on my lap phone, and I'm just like, I'm just kind of like,
the first time?
First time?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because you know what happened. So
it's a bullshit story, bro.
So I'm gonna glaze over it, but I was in the calf and something happened. I was made aware of who Equan was, and then but Equan wasn't the one who came up to me.
No.
So it was someone else who came up to me and I was made aware of who Equan was. But I actually kind of knew who he was just from seeing him around campus and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually talked to him first that day because yes, I was drunk. And yes, liquid courage exists. So I went up to him.
You're the one. I'm like, the fuck I do? It's all right. But yeah, I met her that day.
I was pretty drunk
at the student party on campus on West Side. And then from there, trickle down, and then me, y'all, and everybody else.
And we were all roomies.
Yeah. We were, except for Duke.
I'm about to say.
Yeah.
We were roommates.
Where was I?
We were roommates
that was
junior
so fun.
year. I've been rooming with Equan for 2 years.
My man was
couch hopping.
Couch hopping.
Yeah.
You're not hopping. You're just on one couch.
Yeah, you had
just
our
our
couch.
Yeah, he went to a lot of
You went to
places.
Chestnut.
Yeah,
I
but
was
that
sleeping in
was
her
for a
dorm
whole
when
year.
you was living in Chestnut, and she was on Penny. Sometimes you sleep at her dorm.
I guess that's
wild. Couch hopping.
It was fun.
So I think this is the perfect time to tell y'all about the time that Equan tried to kill me.
Oh Jesus!
Equan tried to kill you.
Equan, as y'all know, Equan's a very heavy sleeper.
So she knows.
Yeah,
I know.
Equan's a very heavy sleeper. So we were in Chestnut. I was upstairs in my room, and Equan was on the couch in the living room. And we had a space heater because we were being cheap, broke college students. It was cold, and that's fine. But I'm sleeping, and all I remember is just waking up to a lot of smoke. And then when I got up, the smell was just so potent. Opened the door, it was just this cloud of smoke go downstairs, smoke as fuck. And all I'm hearing is like the alarm going off. Equan was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like... I'm like,
my fault.
I walk in and I see the space heater, the pillow that's bright red from being burnt by the space heater, and just like smoke everywhere. I was like, yeah.
So what woke you up? Not the
Me.
There wasn't an alarm. It was a smoke, like me in the hell in the
Probably
smoke. I was
dying.
like, oh, shit.
He got asthma.
alarm
Nigga
was-
could have died himself.
That
So-
thing was right there.
Yo.
Because the couch is it's like leather, right?
Yeah.
It was leather in my pillowcases, silk
Slipped off.
or whatever, and it slipped off, and the heater was like kind of like close to my
Right
head.
next to his head.
It wasn't right next to me. It was
Right
close
next
where
to
the
his
pillow
head.
fell and then tilted
Right next
into
to
the
his
heater,
head.
and it was like, yeah, I'm gonna just cook on up for you. You know,
Girl,
get it
I
hot.
walked down. All he gotta say, yo, I'm sorry. I was asleep.
What else am I supposed to say? Like, you know,
I
like,
was like,
Yeah, we could have been at a funeral. Two of them.
two of them.
Golly.
and
He
I
would
had
have
no
been the
pillow.
first to go.
That's a nice
That's why
house,
he's worried.
leather.
Burnt up.
That's
I was
what he's
toasty though, I'll
worried
tell you
about.
that. I wasn't cold.
I bet you were. I bet you were. Alarm didn't even wake him up.
Nope.
Smoke gotta.
Because I was
Death.
tired.
That's crazy.
He
you know how
He would
loud
sleep through
that's-
anything.
And
The
alarm.
alarm, his
That's-
phone
And
alarm
he-
used to go off for hours at like
They
6 o'clock in the morning. And I remember Nadia and I would look at each other and I'd be like, I'm going out there.
You, my mom, Shaq, everybody.
Oh my
Everybody.
God.
Everybody
Yeah.
knew. Like, he was like,
Reem, everybody.
if I could sleep as well as Equan, bro, I would not have any problems.
I still got problems. It don't matter.
Jeez.
No matter how much I sleep.
No, clearly. You sleep through fire.
Yeah.
Through fire.
What the
I said,
hell?
I don't hear that meme. It's great here.
Oh my God.
When I tell y'all, like, it was like smoky and like
It
you
was
walked
smoky.
inside, like, you know,
All the smoke was up in the ceiling.
yeah.
Like just hovering.
Like not no light, fluffy.
No.
It was straight
It was
smoke.
Smoke.
Like
In the living room, the
like,
kitchen.
there's no light you can't
that
see
shit was
where
on
it's going.
fire.
That shit
It was on fire. Like, I told you, the pillow
open the
was
window.
bright red.
I opened the windows and smoke just like open the back door. Smoke everywhere, bro.
God damn.
I was literally up for like 2 hours just like shit out here. It smelled like straight smoke, bro. Everywhere.
Yo, he tried to kill me. It was just me and him, too.
Crazy.
It was just me
tried.
and him.
My man said
You-
no
I-
witnesses.
See what happened was,
What had happened was
you know? So,
Well, Chris Benoit.
that's
It's crazy.
wild. Equan, man.
that's how I met these three lovely people.
Well,
Good night.
clearly she ain't the favorite.
Right, right. That's crazy.
Hey, yo, that's hilarious.
Oh man.
Well, that's Equan for you. And we'll be back after these messages, broadcasted by. So, to get back into business, the nice little topic of the first topic that we're going to talk about is basically, do you feel like everything is meant to be, or do you think that we all form our own reality? I'm going to talk to Miss Lisi so she can go first.
So it's going off of the idea that, like, manifestation and all of that. And, like, do we, like, are you able to manifest stuff? Or is, like, everything that's going to happen, like, just already happening? So, like, even if you try to manifest it, like, what's happening is already about to happen. Thank you.
So
that's the idea.
what do you feel about it? Like, what side are you on?
So, I...
You know what? That shit was so. That's the headphones.
Am I supposed to
That
talk?
shit was dumb loud.
Oh, so
You remember that?
Shit got awkward.
Wow. Anyway, so I think that I don't really know. I don't really think so. Both sides. So I'd like to think that manifesting and stuff is real, but I'm not 100%. Maybe that's why it's not happening because I don't believe. But like everything, like is everything just written, or like can I like for example, if I take a sip of this drink right now, did I manifest that?
No.
Or
I think it's sitting for me.
or is that just am I meant to just drink this?
Okay, I can. It does. That kind of makes sense. It does.
I think, honestly, I feel like with this topic, it's really what you're talking about. I feel
What
like
you believe in?
Yeah.
If
I
that's
feel
what you're
like in
talking
that
about.
sense, like it's a very minimal like example. But like I feel like if you're gonna drink this, it's not like you manifested it or you were supposed to, but your body's telling you to. So that's like a scientific, aspect of it. But like I think you do in a way form your own reality. I feel like there's a bigger picture as like in a destiny, like what you're technically meant to do. But I think like on a day-to-day thing, like you are what you say you are, and like if you believe it, and then it is what it is, I don't necessarily think that, you have to say it for it to happen type shit, but like I also think that what you believe in is what's gonna be like just like if you really think you're not a good person or that you don't deserve certain things, then it's not gonna happen. But then if you start talking about like I deserve this or I want this, and I can say for myself specifically, I've experienced where manifesting actually happened. So I believe in manifestation. I believe that like with certain things in your life, it's like what you make it out to be, and what you want. But I think like there's like a bigger picture of like your destiny, if that makes sense.
I like that. Your destiny. What?
I don't think I'm Destiny. I think I'm Duke. What about you, Equan? Tell me what you're thinking about it.
This is Equan's forte right here.
My forte?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question, please? But when I tell you my memory is shot, I'm like shot.
Is everything meant to be, or do you form your own reality? That's a bar.
I feel like it's
Like a rapping song?
yes, bar. Yes.
Like a rapping song?
I feel like it's both. You have to like the best goal for that. You have to manifest what you want, but also as you put your actions towards that thing is essentially becomes reality. So it could be both. I think I don't really have much to say on it. Just both.
I have something to say. So, like, if we put it towards your business, do you manifest your business to where it's going to be? Or is it just going to... And if you don't manifest it, like, will it ever happen? Like,
I feel like as long as I don't put bad thoughts on about it, then both of those things will happen.
So do you think is manifesting like, do you think it only applies to good and bad, or good or bad? Like you said, like if you don't put no bad thoughts.
It applies to both, but depending on which one you want to use. If you think about good thoughts constantly, even if bad thoughts come up, I like to say once one bad thought, try to think 10 good, because it's easy to fall off and hard to stay on track.
Yeah.
So think that one bad thought, it's easy to just keep thinking that shit. If you try to tell yourself, all right, think the good thoughts and continue to think the good thoughts, then that's manifestation, which in return will become reality in a sense. So I feel like it's both in a way. Mm-hmm. As long as I don't think about bad things about my company or about myself or friends, family, whatever, that's manifestation. That's number one, and then whatever I manifest will come to reality.
What do you think?
So is everything meant to be, or do you form your own reality? I mean, yeah, you can form your own reality, but the way that I think is that your reality is different from reality. So it's like the way that it's tricky. It can be both.
So it's like you're like in a bubble.
Yes, like your reality. So it's the system out. Oh my God, basically the systems part of people's life. It starts with you, and then it goes your parents, and then your family, and then outside sources like churches and stuff, and like community, and goes all the systems in part. But it starts off with you. So if I if I only believe that my reality is like one all and be all, it's not gonna. I can't form what the actual reality would look like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like
Can't control what the outside part.
you can't really the outcomes and the results and what's thrown at you.
Shit's gonna come at you.
It's gonna
regardless.
come.
That's why.
So
You can't prevent nothing coming at you because you're not the only person on the planet.
yeah. So my reality, I can believe in it, but I have to differentiate my reality and actual reality.
Yeah, copy.
And what's meant to be will happen regardless of the reality. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So there's apparently 3 parts that if I'm going to talk about it. So there's my reality, and what's meant to be.
Yeah.
And that shuts down both of those reality regardless.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't see actual reality because they're only in their reality. So it's like no matter what you believe, no matter what you see, what's going to happen to you will happen to you regardless.
Yeah. And with that, you got to be prepared for it.
Yeah. So I think that's where I am. So it's like, it's more than the both. I think it's a lot more philosophical and theoretical and all that, all of them. So it's a lot of factors put in place, but if we're going to stick with the two, I think it's hard to just give that answer. So I think I'm gonna go with everything is meant to be. Everything is meant to be. Like if I had a gun against my head, I had to choose one. That's the one I'm going with.
But like meant to be how? Like
because right now, if you want to drink out of that cup, you would drink out of the cup. If you don't, you don't. But whatever you do is meant to be. You can't change the future.
Okay.
You literally can't change the future.
Yeah.
So you could be like, I'm not going to do nothing today. And be like, okay. The future going to be like, all right, cool. You're not going to do nothing? Cool. You know what? Got you. I did something today. Okay, cool. All right, cool. You did something today. The future is literally going to let you do whatever you want to do.
But like, I want to kind of like compare this, and this is probably going to be like a little sidebar maybe. But like, I remember like growing up in like a church, they used to always talk about like, you know, like God knows, God has a plan for you, God has this plan for your life, and like all that stuff. So in my head, I was just like, okay, like if God has this plan for me, if God already knows what I'm gonna do, then what's the point of free will in a way? So like if he already has this plan for me, then is it my plan or is it his plan? Or like You see what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense. Or like,
I love that.
Or like, is it like, you know, if everything's meant to be, if you already have this plan for me, then why are you giving me choices with certain things?
Because again, it goes to whatever choice you make is going to happen.
So like, you think the choice
if you don't make a choice, that was supposed to happen. If you make a choice, that was supposed to happen. You can't change the future, no matter how hard you try.
So
whatever
like,
you do,
so essentially, like we low key don't have a choice then, because if it's already meant to be,
then you can't manifest anything because it's already meant to be.
You can manifest because you manifest as you making a choice that was supposed to happen.
So maybe it's the way like manifesting is taking energy to put towards something that's already meant to
thoughts.
be. But why would I have to manifest a blueberry muffin
if that's what you're supposed to
that's what's meant to be already? Why do I have to manifest it when I already know I'm going to get the blueberry muffin?
It's more so manifest. So the way to manifest, I feel like that it works is that you won't manifest something that you know you can make right there. You manifest something that you are unaware. So this is what I mean by your reality and reality and what's meant to be. Yeah. So this is what I mean by that. So you in your reality can create a blueberry muffin. So reality is you don't know if your blueberry muffin is the best blueberry muffin in the world and you can have your own shop. That's you would manifest having your own shop because it's something that's you don't really know that you have. You don't know that you have that will or that drive or the talent to actually create your own business of having a blueberry shop. So that's what you would manifest. You would manifest the reality of having your own shop and being your own boss.
Yeah, but if it's already meant to happen, I don't have to manifest it because I'm already meant to have my own shop.
But you don't know if it's going to happen.
It's always two.
That's why
But
the manifest.
it's meant to, I don't know it's going to happen because it's meant to happen over there.
Yeah, but you don't know. So we don't.
So I have to manifest it even though it's already going to happen.
But you don't know if it's going to happen.
But
That's
I'm
the
saying
I think
the
that's
tale
what
of the
goes
tale
into
of
free will.
time.
Yeah, you just gotta let shit.
I think that's where free will happens. I think that's where the idea of free will happens because you have no idea of what's coming, but it is going to come if you allow it to.
Okay.
So I think that's where the free will comes in because if you are fortunate enough to let things happen positively, because all the negative things is going to happen to you regardless, no matter how you duck and dive, weave, move, it's just going to happen to you. So the positive stuff, I think if you don't know, which we don't, that is going to happen to you, I think that's where we manifest it to happen to us.
Yeah.
Because it's easy, like he said, it's easier to fall off than to stay on track.
Yeah.
So, I have a question for you guys. Do you think that we would want or we can manifest like the things that's not meant for us? Like say, so then if we manifest it, they say that if you manifest, like it will become a reality.
It can become a reality.
So then if you manifest something that's not meant for you, that's not part of your journey, that's not part of your reality. So it's just, do you think like you can actually manifest hard enough for it to become your reality?
You'll learn about it in life. If it's not meant for you, then you'll learn that, this wasn't meant for me.
You make that choice.
I want it. You made that choice. Simple.
So is manifesting just praying to the universe?
I think
that's okay.
I kind of combine manifestation, meditation, praying, all that
energy, all that.
One thing. It's all thoughts.
Yeah.
It's literally manifestation is you think about something over and over. I want this. I need this.
But
it's the same thing.
Honestly, this is also you telling yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
It's also not to the universe, it's to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
It's more of like you have to believe. Well, you don't have to believe, but you want to believe that you're able to receive what it is that you're manifesting.
Okay.
Whether it's good for you or bad for you, you'll learn along the way when you get it.
Yeah.
That
you deserve
it's good for you or bad for you.
Yeah.
Or you might not ever get it and be all right with that.
Damn.
It's like just letting shit happen.
Yeah.
Literally.
So if I want to marry Leonardo DiCaprio, I can manifest it and make it happen.
You can manifest that, but
I'm 20. I'm about to be 26. I'm about to be 26. I'm done. So let's find somebody else. I want to marry John Hamm.
So this is where I go back into my
Mad Men, Don Draper.
So this is where I go back to what I feel like my theory is. There's three parts of that. What you're stating is your reality.
That's your little thing.
You're manifesting what you want to impact in your reality. Now we all know.
Outside of that,
the reality is
you gotta get to Hollywood.
You got 0.2% chance of your reality happening.
Yeah,
and that might be too high. I'm just throwing out numbers.
0.00001.
You can manifest that and not get it.
But you could also manifest it and it happens.
And it happens.
But what I'm saying is manifesting, you said something that it might potentially happen.
Yeah, it might be.
So what I'm saying is...
Not might. It can possibly.
It can possibly.
But the possibility gives you both sides.
Like
the possibility piece is also can and also can't.
Yes.
So that's the possibility piece. So
I know, but it's okay. So what I'm saying is like, oh my god, it's like possibly, right?
Okay.
I'm just playing like devil's advocate, by the way.
No, that's fine.
Cool.
It's like percentage.
So like, I say we're playing something, and I want to I want to get it in the cup, right? Now, possibly my chances ratios that I'll get it in the cup, right?
Mhm.
But am I manifesting that I'm going to get it in the cup? Or is it like just going to happen because of how it's supposed to happen?
I think it'll still be a 50-50.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
that's like flipping a coin.
yeah. I feel like usually, but that's the thing. Like you're thinking about manifesting as such a small thing. Like you don't manifest something small. You kind of manifest something big that you want to happen in the
Something that
future.
you
Okay.
really
So
want.
like you
Maybe I'm too
manifest.
direct with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you'll manifest
Literal,
like what you
not
want to happen. Like once you get to Texas, you'll manifest like maybe getting a better job or something because that's all like in the future you can work towards it, little steps and stuff. You can't.
Manifesting
So
is
is it just a false hope?
I
no.
don't think it's a false hope, but I like how I like the way you put it. I don't think it's necessarily a false hope. I think it's like
Or just like a hope?
hopeful.
Yeah, it's a hope in general.
Hopeful.
Hope is still a possibility. Hope
Yeah.
is a word that we use to solidify that it also can't happen because we want to think positive. So hope is
So my question here is that if you're manifesting something and it could possibly happen, but it could possibly not happen, like why not? Why are you manifesting it when what's meant to be is already meant to be?
Because you're hoping.
So why hope?
Because you don't know what's meant to be for you. You don't know what's meant to be.
you don't know why you woke up today.
Yeah.
You just woke up today.
But like, can we like? I think like you ever think about like your destiny or like your purpose in life?
Mm-hmm.
Like
when you were saying the whole God's purpose thing, that really hit.
yeah, well, for me, just because I always thought of that just because like I grew up with really religious like mom and grandma, so like that was always like a thing. Like they could never really answer questions like that for me. So
They were like, God got you.
Yeah, you just gotta have the faith, and I'm like, okay,
That's
but
why I'm
like
agnostic.
faith in what? Like faith for what? Like you're not giving me enough answers. But anyways.
I must say though, when I do like pray or like repeatedly pray or like get into it, I just feel really good. Like really.
But I think that's all about like the higher power, or like you feel like your issues is in somebody else's hands in a way.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No.
Well, yeah. You say
I'm not much religious. I'm
not religious either. I would say I'm more spiritual than religious.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just so many unanswered questions when it comes to religion, but like with spirituality and with manifestation and stuff like that, it's really like I think it's just more about like the energy that you put out into the world. Like you're manifesting, like, and you're just really hoping and just I guess hoping, but you're just putting all your energy into one thought, hoping that it will come true. I guess that's the best.
Don't just hope. Actually, you have to.
You got to work towards it as well.
You can think all you want.
Like,
I sit there and think about.
So let's go back to I want to marry John Hamm.
Okay.
So what do I have to do to marry John? I have to just hope. But I hope I marry John Hamm.
You can manifest too, but also put in action.
But
put in action to get there.
So.
But
it's not magic.
Magic.
Manifesting is not magic.
But
so you gotta actually like be able to have reach into John Hamm like type thing, like
in his area.
Yeah,
what you're doing is like you're challenging, which is fine, but you're also challenging your chances because what he just said, you can't just manifest. Manifest is just energy. It's just something that you're doing, you're thinking, you're trying to like program into your mind that this is going to happen. But this is where your reality piece comes. Reality means that you have to do something towards what it is you're thinking to get it done. If we just take that away and we just like, we want a new job. It may seem like it's far-fetched, but what are we doing to get a new job? Like it's as simple as that. Like, are we applying? Are we calling that job to make sure they got the application? Did you submit the application?
Yeah.
Like that's how you have to see it. Now, if you want to marry John Hamm, get famous. So what are you doing to be famous? Like what is your goal to get famous? So like now you're famous. Now you got to be sexy. Now he gotta like you.
Yeah,
now he got
you gotta-
now you have to put yourself in the position that you're and you have to
All right,
put
so
yourself in the
manifestation is
position.
the action.
No, the
It's not just
thought.
action. It's a
manifestation
thought.
is the foundation.
So, like,
The
for
mindset
example,
behind the action.
So, like, for example,
that's
like
what
a
I was-
couple
yeah,
years
that's what
ago,
we're
I
looking
was
for.
really struggling. Like, this was right before where when the pandemic first started. I left my job. I didn't want to work there anymore. I left my job. So I spent like a good 6 months not working. That got to a point where like I just wanted something to do. Like I wanted a change in my life. For me, so then I started manifesting. I'm like, in 3 months, I'm not gonna be where I am today, and that's all that I manifested.
Yeah.
Is that in 3 months I'm not gonna be where I am today, and I know I wanted to be someplace else. I didn't know where, I didn't know how. I just knew that something was gonna change. So looking back, something did change, but I did the work every single day. I was applying to jobs. I was finding a way to move out of my apartment. So like I knew the end goal was to not be where I was. So I took little steps to not be where I was. So like manifesting is just, I think of a way is just like you said, getting your mind right before you do the job.
Now,
I like that.
Now imagine if you had, I can't get the job. I quit.
Yeah.
That's your fate. You
Yeah.
stop. You can manifest all you want. She could continue to manifest, and then I'm gonna stop applying. I'm gonna just wait and see if I hear from that.
Yeah.
They never come back. Then that's what was supposed to happen.
You still got to do the work, even though you want something.
And even in that situation, even that situation, if you stop, that's your reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's still actual reality. Your time will still continue to go.
Always.
It's not going to stop.
Never.
It doesn't stop. So the bills will pile up. You get kicked out. You don't have no place to go. You can't buy anything. In this world that we live in, you will be on the streets having that little sign up asking for help.
But that's also
Can I get a quota?
But that's also a reality that you could have chosen to not live.
But that's the thing too. A lot of people don't take accountability for what happens to their lives. So like if something happens where like they end up on the street, they're like, oh, like the world was stacked against me. Okay, but like what did you do to like it's stacked against everybody. If you're knocked down and you decide to stay down, then that's your choice. You can't say, oh, life knocked me down and da 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 da. You didn't do enough to get yourself. Like I know like sometimes like as hard as you try, life keeps knocking you down. But like it really is all about like getting back up and like doing the work to get to where you want to be.
Yeah,
it's not just gonna be handed to you. So like if something happens where you feel like you're losing everything, if you're just gonna sit there and be like, bro, I lost everything, everything's like against me, I don't want to do this anymore, then you're gonna stay exactly where you are.
And that's where again free will comes into play,
right?
Because you have the choice to continue to go the route that you want to go. Mm-hmm. But if you choose to understand that everything that you do will just go down the drain, then it's going to go down the drain.
That's where it would be.
Yeah.
But it's really hard sometimes, like, when you're in, like...
To get the right mindset.
Yeah.
I feel like I see it a lot with, like, relationships. Like we talk about all the time. Like, being, like, 25. Like, I had...
26.
Or,
27.
yeah.
20.
In our 20s.
28.
Being in our late 20s. Like, if...
Mid?
Late?
I'm in the mid. You feel me? I'm in the mid. Them niggas is in the late.
I'm still in the mid, guys.
Yeah.
You call me the late.
The high 20s. The late 20s.
Anyway, but like I was saying, like I feel like I see a lot of people are talking about people in relationships and settling down and how I haven't, and I had an opportunity where I could have, and like sometimes it's really hard for people to go against like just settling, whether it's manifestation, whether it's business, whether it's like we're moving, like, if we wanted to, we could be here in good old Connecticut for the rest of our, you know what I mean?
No.
Sorry, I didn't know if that was going anywhere, but
LA? That's the dream I would like to. I'm a West Coast type of thing.
How can we do TX?
What's TX?
There's no way you can do TX.
Did you just ask what's TX?
I didn't get it. Because we're going to Houston.
Houston what?
I get it. I understand now. I get it. Texas. But see, because Los Angeles is a city, so TX, I was like,
You're right.
what's TX?
So LA
We're
is-
H-Town.
H-Town.
Because that's what Beyonce said. Oh, there we go. I don't even know.
CA?
I don't know.
Oh.
Golly.
I thought it was.
But anyway.
Gotcha.
So what's the gang sign we do for Texas?
She said gang sign.
H. I don't know.
He said H.
Okay. Thank you.
It's like a chicken. It's like a damn rooster. It's like a booster on spot.
You make her go harder.
It's like a horn.
Hey, yo.
Why did I do those little ducks?
Somebody said it sounds like
The squeaky toys.
Somebody said it sounds like a hyena.
Yo.
One of my
I'm
friends.
crying. Oh my God. As you can see, lick is hitting. It's getting a little hot.
Hell
I
yeah.
definitely get lost.
For sure. Look, I see the sleeves rolled up. You feel me?
Definitely got
I don't
you.
gotta roll up no sleeve because you feel me. I was the smart one.
I mean, I can always take this off.
I
So the
probably-
people, they only
I
want to
could
see
strip a
arms
little
anyway.
bit.
I'm sorry.
Chris Brown strip song. Good one. Listen.
You thought you were funny, dude? You thought you were funny?
No.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the lick making me laugh. Okay, so what is this? This is wow. I forgot about this topic. After all this laughing,
I know.
Damn.
Should we do something different?
we're already here.
All right. Let's
See
do
it
it.
through, my boy.
Dive in.
What is worse?
Ooh, I'm about to die.
What is worse? An absent father or an abusive father?
Abusive.
That's hard.
That is
So what I'm saying is, what I'm going off of here is I was having a conversation with a friend just the other day. We both have, daddy issues.
You can say it?
But I'm about to say
What'd
it.
you
Oh,
say?
okay. No, you just saw you hesitated.
I'm just building this.
It's a suspense.
So we both have daddy issues.
Mhm.
One of us has a father, I guess, who is absent. The other one, me, has a
Abusive.
father who was abusive my
Oh.
whole life. And so what's worse, having somebody that was abusive or having somebody that was absent? And I understand both have their...
Major effects.
It's not great, right?
Mhm.
It's not great to be missing a parent. And it's very, weird to see my friends with two parents and think you just talk to your dad, and it's normal. It's just very interesting. But I would have to say that the abusive parent is worse just because whether it's physical, emotional, mental, you have somebody constantly putting you down, and it's you have sandbag after sandbag after sandbag after sandbag. Where it's if the absent parent is there, it's just kind of just an
It's
you don't
The
know.
absent parent isn't there.
okay.
That absent period.
Yeah, they're not there,
Yeah.
so there's nothing going on. So, for example, if somebody grows up without a dad, you have your mom to lean on, and she's a parent.
but the thing is that you can lean on your mom as a parent, but there's
and I know
there's
you're always
quality-
gonna want a dad.
even if you didn't want a dad, but there are just certain qualities that a mom can't teach you about a dad. A dad can't teach you how to be a man. They can't teach you if I didn't have my dad present, I wouldn't know certain things, and it would I would be lacking things in some way.
What things are you talking about? Are you talking about changing a tire or anything, or other stuff?
Well, those things I guess I could learn, but I think for me, I just wouldn't know what I would want in a man. I just wouldn't know, what having a man in the house would be like. Be like, and in that way, I have to step in a little bit more, to fill in that void for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as you guys all know, from my example, like I was raised with both parents in a way. When I lived in Haiti, I didn't live without my mom. I didn't live with my mom. I was just my dad and the maids and like, families and whatnot.
The maids.
You guys know it really wasn't like that. But anyways, and then when I came here, like, for a while I didn't have my dad, but for the most part, I had both my parents in my life. But I would also say that, like, having both was cool and stuff like that. But, like, my parents argued a lot and all that jazz. But after my dad left and moved back to Haiti, I felt like I became a huge, shoulder for my mom.
Yeah,
Support,
Yeah.
like, wherever, like, and I was really close to my dad, so I became very handy. And whatever my mom needed around the house, it was me. If she needed somebody to, like, if she needed a date to go to a wedding, it was me. If she needed somebody to talk to, it was me. So, like, in a way, that put a lot of burden on me because I had to be strong for her. So whatever I was going through was never enough because I had to be strong for her in that case. So in that sense, it kind of took away some of my childhood or some of my, I don't even know what.
So you think you had to become responsible
a lot more responsible earlier?
Quicker.
Yeah.
All right. So my counter argument to that would be that I've I guess kind of experienced both.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the father in the house, and I have I'm my mom's shoulder to lean on now because
He's not there.
because he's not there. So I'm her emotional support husband, as I put it. And so, but I would a million times rather be that emotional support, which I think when we move to Texas is going to be rough to break.
Yeah.
I think that's when it's really going to set in, and I'm going to be free, and I'm going to see how much of a burden it was, I guess. But I would take this any day over being terrified to fall asleep because I was afraid I was going to die. It's just, or being called things or told that I'm worthless all the time. It's just the mental side of it is just.
But I think it for you.
But it's two different mental things.
I think for you, in a sense, it has more of a longer lasting effect than me. If I had if I had to be my mom's emotional support husband since I was a kid, then it would have been a lot more on me. But I was in college when it started, so I think for you, it just has more of a longer residual effect than me. I think for me, whenever it's time, and I move on and I have my own kids, I have my own family, that's pretty much, I guess, it in a way for me and my mom. I'm still going to be there for her. I'm still going to be her support and whatnot. But, I feel like maybe it won't be, I won't have to sacrifice so much. Because I know I had to sacrifice a lot of my feelings, a lot of my time, a lot of my happiness in order to make things okay for my mom because she didn't really have anyone else to turn to. So I don't know.
I think I agree with the abusive one is worse.
Oh, definitely.
Because that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a leader, so he's supposed to show you things rather than,
I think it's because, absent father, so the way I see it is absent father makes you, it slows down your development.
Yeah.
Absent father. Abusive father hinders your development.
Everything
they're kind of in the same realm, slows down and hinder.
Yeah.
But what I mean by hinder is having.
I think having an absent father speeds up your growth.
No. Not growth.
Yeah, I agree because this friend I was talking to has had to be
So the way growth works, but quote me by psychology, not me. Okay, all right. The way growth works, if you speed up, you are slowing down. because you didn't develop in the stages and the time that you needed to for you to develop into the fully grown person that you are.
Yeah.
So you're speeding up because you have to, which slows you down.
Yeah.
Hindering, as the abusive one, is that you are going inside yourself and believing what it is you have to believe, because you're limiting yourself based on the person that you have to you subconsciously idealize.
Yeah.
Idolize, not idealize. Idolize, O-L, not E-A-L. Sorry. Idolize, because you're connected to this person by blood.
Yeah.
So someone who you don't even know why you have to love is making you second guess said love. And I feel like we are based off of two things: life and love. Everything else you learn, right? So if someone who's abusing you, you don't know it's abuse until you talk to other people. You don't know this abuse. You can't, that's what I mean. Life and love. Your life is abuse. So you don't know that it's not. And something inside you feels like it's tearing you away from the love that you have from this person. Right? So that's what I mean by hindering you.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like it's worse, because the absent father, it just opens, it opens your mind up a little more, but having too much openness early on in life can slow you down, because it's like two people in your family raising you, you have two different perspectives, whether it's male and female, female and female, male and male. You still have two completely different perspectives. And the way that you go on to your life, you base off what it is the perspective is that you've been raised to think.
Yeah.
And then you have your own type of, how you interpret it, because you think what it is that they think they want you, and it could be completely different. But having an absent father, you just have more opportunity to fill that void. But when you have the father and they're abusive, you have to figure out, is this the way he loves? Is this the way that I'm supposed to love? Yeah. Or do I deserve his love? Or you're like, you don't know how to think.
Yeah.
Because your mom, who I'm assuming is not abusing you, because if you have both parents, that's abusing you. That's a different story. I can't even, I don't know. I can't
Shout
even
out
think.
To the people that went through that.
Yes, and still rocking. Yes, please. We love y'all. We love y'all even though we don't know you, and we love you because somebody has to. They love you, they just don't know how to because they were abused.
Because what they went through.
So if you have the abusive father, it's more of you're hindered by what it is that he's trying to tell you. And you don't have to, but you are unfortunately loving him because that's your father. Yeah. And your mom is dealing with him, so you have to deal with him because you most likely are closer to your mom or the other parent that was raising you. Yeah. So I think it's more difficult. It's just more difficult with an abusive father, because you have to come back to that man.
Yeah. I feel like with the absent father, you still can learn.
Yeah.
It's just he's not abusive all the time. Because, you can see the movies or in real life, you see that he's abusive or he's verbally abusive, but sometimes there's days where it's all right. You learn from him, you learn how to do this, learn this. You see that he could be a nice guy because you have that love for him, but majority of the times it's abusive. I can't relate to that, but that's just what I see from movies or just hearing and just thinking about. That's just what I think of. Where absent father, what I can more relate to is, my mom used to tell me, "You just like your father." I'm like, how the fuck would I know? You know what I mean? Like, it's like that kind of hit. Cause like, damn, how the fuck would I know if I'm like somebody that I would never to this day meet? You know what I mean? I probably met once or twice, but it's kind of like you can't learn from that. You can't learn from nothing from him. You know what I mean? Because he's not there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I would rather have an abusive father than an absent father. Absent father than abusive father. But with the abusive father, it's kind of like, you still can learn from him. they're not always 100%.
You can interpret what it is that they're being.
They're trying. In some cases, I think you could tell that they're trying to, like, certain things they might say to you might seem harsh, but they're just trying to teach you, because it's sometimes tough love.
They just don't know how to communicate.
Exactly. They don't know how to speak their words. They don't know how to express themselves in that loving manner.
Yeah.
So you fucking lazy. You got to learn how to be better at this. Like, it's just like,
it's also learned behavior, though.
Expressing yourself too, like, at the same time, like, you express yourself, like, that's how you know how to express yourself. You don't know how to do it and stuff like that. Okay, but like, there's still gonna have to come a time, I feel like, in a healthy person, where even though, like, you don't really know how to express certain disappointments or certain things that your kid does, but I feel like at least once or at least sometimes you gotta at least let your kid know this is what you did well. You know what I mean? And I know, like, as an abusive father, like, that's all you probably do, but just, like, for lack of better terms, just to be better, like, or healthier, I think, like, even though you know more about, like, my dad, for example. My dad, he spent a lot of times telling me what I was doing wrong. Like, if you did something wrong, or, like, if you're lacking common sense on doing something the right way or something like that, he'll take that time and make sure you know that, like, you fucked up by doing this. Or, like, oh, damn, like, can't you use your brain and shit like that? So my dad would say stuff like that to me, but I know, like, he was doing for the better, because there are other times where he'll balance that out and be like, okay, like, oh, like, wow, like, you did this right. Like, look at you. I'm proud of you for doing something like that.
Sometimes those type of dads aren't they're not really abusive. Sometimes they come out abusive. You know what I mean? But it's, some people, it can seem like it's abusive because the way they're talking to you.
I would not say my dad's abusive. I would definitely say my dad lacks
just
emotion, tough love.
Mm-hmm.
He was raised by, like, a dad himself. He didn't really have much of a father figure in his life. But again, that does not excuse anything. Like, you had 3 daughters and you live with a wife, so, like, there are plenty of times where you could have learned to say things better, or, like,
definitely.
I think to go back to the abusive ones who actually are abusive, I think the reason as justification, the reason why they don't do that is because if they do, they have the mom. So they become more abusive and more abusive over time due to the
deterioration of their own mind.
That too. And the fact that they don't need to be the one that's nurturing.
No.
They have the mom.
Go to mom when you want.
I'm here to make sure that you don't spend my money in the wrong way.
But sometimes I feel like a lot of times, like, they fault the moms for being too nurturing.
Yeah, they're abusive to everybody. You can't just be abusive to one person.
There's also money abuse is, like, a big thing. So you said, like, don't spend my money the wrong way.
Yeah.
But, like, I could spend money on, like, a pack of gum and, like, we could have to get groceries and my mom's throwing all the money away, and she's that. So,
but that's my point. Like, it's abusive to everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's their justification. They don't need to be the one that is teaching you, like, the loving way, because they don't have to, because they also didn't get it. Most likely.
Yeah, it's all psychology.
Yeah, it's most likely they didn't get it.
At the same time, I think it's very dumb that, like, again, like, it's just people and how they think and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's extremely dumb, like, when you're raised some way and you think that's the only way that there is. Like,
I see what you're saying.
I know sometimes it's hard to change your ways and, like, all that stuff, but I think, like, there comes a time where you got to stop making excuses with like, how you were raised, and
this is
the
how
love,
I was raised.
Yeah, the love that you didn't get, and that's why you're justifying the way you're treating people.
I think it's, like, a mindset thing, because that's how I kind of things are with, like, my dad. Also, I think it's, like, traveling out. So with my dad, like, he never left our town. He never left.
That's where I was gonna go.
Never left Southington at all.
Yeah.
And so even though, like, I mean, I'm making moves now, but, like, the farthest I ever traveled was, like, Danbury or, like,
New Haven,
Puerto Rico.
Gang.
You know, so like, but for me, going to Danbury was like the biggest, culture shock ever. No, but in my house, if you weren't in Southington and you weren't Italian in Southington in the street we were living, everything else was dirty ghetto. Oh, wow. Everything else.
That's why I can't.
I was constantly told that I was, yeah.
If you wake up to red cups, go to schools with red cups.
That's what I
go to vacations with red cups.
My dad raised
go to church. The red cups.
Like the world is just too big for you to just be okay with.
Well, no, it's
and I know it's like how you were raised. I know that's like everything, all that, and stuff like that.
Fear.
And that's how it is.
It's fear. So he says everybody else is bad because everything else in this.
And that's why I'm saying it's so sad because, like, you know,
it
we
really
have
is.
just one mindset, and like, you know, I'm not saying like it's necessarily bad. It's good and stuff like that, but like, there's like such a big world out there. Mm-hmm. My dad is okay with staying in Haiti. Right now, Haiti is like terrible, about to tear itself up. The UN's like on its way there now, type thing. And he's just gardening,
just chilling.
But that's gardening. Your reality.
No, I know, but like I'm just saying, like I think like again, you said like so your reality. Everybody to each their own, to each their own, to each their own. But the way I see things is that like.
It's
branch
hard.
out. Like life is too big. The world's too big. Life is too short for you to just like have one mindset and think at least the best mindset. If you're not open,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Do they ever question? Like, damn.
But you can only question if there's an orange cup there.
But no, like just be like,
if you're surrounded by red cups thinking about the same thing, you cannot question.
But it's like, what if it's like,
is this enough?
Abusive dad. What if I don't? What if I treat them different, the better way?
But what I'm saying is you don't even realize it because when I said dirty ghetto and you guys all went like, whoa, like that's so normal to me that like your guys' reaction, like I like
if y'all know,
like you guys,
if y'all knew where Annalise lived before, it was not the dirty ghetto.
But no, what I'm saying is like it's like amazing to me that that's like so like jaw dropping to you because like I heard that every day and that was like just like. Like, you don't realize that, like, there's different thoughts out there. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It was such my normal that I don't even realize that, like...
Is that why you hate where you live now? Because it's the dirty ghetto?
In my house right now? Mm-hmm. I just don't like it because it's in the woods.
I'm about to say it's in the most scariest spot somebody could...
And I lose every time I'm driving past, like, the high school to go to my house. Like, when I lose you guys in a call, I lose my song stop playing in the car. I just don't like it. It's just, there's a lot of trees.
So, to go back to what she said about, you know, the life is so big. Life is only as big
as you make it.
As you're exposed to. Because you can't make something that doesn't exist to you.
Yeah, you can. In terms of that, yeah, you can.
Because you know, we didn't do it, but you meeting other people expose you to other different things.
Yeah.
Imagine a friend.
But my point is like you know that there's a bigger life out there.
Yeah. But that diminishes what I've been saying.
Imagine if Annalise never met us.
Never went to Danbury. If she stayed to college.
If I went to Central?
She could have the mindset, I wonder what it would be like out there in La La Land.
No, I was supposed to get married to an Italian man, stay in Southington, and move 3 feet from my house.
And that's what I'm saying. If you was to do that, she would have dreamed about going somewhere else. And she probably never went to Puerto Rico. She'd probably just been in Southington.
So
I would have never left.
Yes.
By exposure, like, everything can be like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. People live like that.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
That's
so raised by the church, raised by the family, you can only watch this is the devil, this is the sin. People live like that. I don't agree, but I'm just saying everybody has the possibility to not accept that there's extra exposure because of what they've been exposed to. I can just, like you said in the last podcast, it took you some time to know that what your parents taught you is not be your end all. Like you had to learn that. People would just be like, that's not my mom said. My mama said,
But how did she learn that?
Yeah.
How did you learn that? You went to college. You met people.
What you were exposed to.
Exactly.
I see what
Your
you're saying.
parents, your parents will not expose you to the things that they don't want you to get to.
They're going to do what's best for you.
In their eyes.
At any means necessary.
In their eyes.
This is what we're going to do.
And this is where the abusive part comes in.
But at the same time, like, I gotta say, before college, I knew that, like, this simple life was not gonna be for me.
But what high school you went to?
But no.
That is a private or public?
Public.
That's exposure.
That's exposure.
Yeah, but
private will teach you Catholic school, private school will teach you so many different things that you need to. However, the friends that you have are either red cups or orange cups.
I understand that, but like at the same, but like your friends aren't the only people that's gonna expose you. Like
growing up, that's the only people you care about. That's
right. But growing up, like I grew up in a household where friends weren't the priority. Like I did, like
not
outside,
at home, but at school.
But outside of school, I didn't have school was maybe like my whole world. But outside of school, I didn't know anybody else. Even with the friends that I was friends with in high school, I knew they weren't lifelong friends. I knew they were just basically like acquaintances for school. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Just to get you by.
Yeah. Because like at home, like you only focus with like, I guess like home life. But I knew that I didn't want that simple, mediocre type of life that
with that, you could say you, along with majority or few people, can think that way. But not a lot of people can think the way that
you think. But however,
I would say my experiences changed my mind with the things I was learning. I wouldn't say necessarily my exposure, because I wasn't exposed to a lot of things up until college, but I still had the mindset that I had.
But you also got to remember, you didn't start off where it is that your mom is now. You came from a whole different country.
Yeah.
But that's part of exposure. You came from a simple, original, like simple, like people live there their whole entire life. My point is from his pops, her pops was born, stayed, and still probably
like
is
3 generations
in Southington. If you were a part of that 3 generation in Haiti, you wouldn't have the mindset that you have.
I probably still would. It would probably been a smaller.
But that's my point.
Scale.
Your exposure expanded when you came to a whole different country. How to learn English. How to learn what it is, like the different. Like you're gonna still learn. System. You have to learn so many different things. Like your experience is your exposure. Yeah. Like you came from a whole different country who spoke a whole different language.
About, like the friends that you're exposed to and all that stuff. Like I don't think those necessarily impacted. Like
you have some. You have friends in Haiti that teach you a whole different way. That the friends that you don't have to be friends. Like the people that are not your family. This is what I mean. Anybody, your associates, the people that you met, the people you say hi to. These are exposures that you're given because you can just say no to these niggas. I'm from Haiti. I don't fuck with you.
Or you can disregard what they're saying to you.
You cannot learn English.
Okay, cool.
You making these choices based off. Yes, you have been gifted the development of learning like this. I've learned. I was thinking like this in Haiti. It's not going to work here. Mm. You didn't make that decision. It was self-conscious. You made the decision to expand the fact that it's more to life than how I lived in Haiti.
No, because you got to think about it. When I lived in Haiti, I was a kid, so I didn't
exactly.
I was a kid, so none of like the whole like what I wanted to do like growing up, like none of that shit like actually formed until I came here because I was older. I was able to think. When I was in Haiti, all I cared about was playing and climbing trees and shit like that.
You're limiting your exposure.
But at some point, people influence you. Not 100%, but something influenced you. It came from something.
You can't.
TV shows, movies. Something.
You can't write down what it is that you've been exposed to. That's just what it is.
No, I know.
However, the different phases of when you got to here is because you didn't stay where her father stayed.
Yeah.
You didn't stay in the same
You didn't
mindset.
say you got to move out and branch out, so you got to move from like here.
No matter what
to
age.
here.
Because you're still exposed.
At least you all over his face.
The thing is, how exposure
So
works
do you
is
think-
not just
so
thought.
My dad wasn't exposed, so he was.
So if he was exposed and he still had this mindset, then he still had the same mindset as if he stayed in like.
It probably most likely would have changed.
Slightly.
Yeah, I
Slightly.
think
Because you
know.
still don't know how it.
it was also different. It was also different times. You got to keep in mind. But like, yeah,
I think it gotta be who you are because, like, again, I'm gonna give my dad. He spent his whole life in Haiti. That was for him, that was his comfort zone.
That's for him though.
Okay, but like even when he came here with a whole different exposure, with a lot of different people around him,
he experienced that and didn't like it, right? And he went back to probably
Right.
didn't like it, but went back to Haiti.
right? But
him.
his mindset never changed.
Yeah,
So
but
even if he came here,
But that's from your perspective.
that's only one person. We're talking about. It's a possibility that
Something.
took another man from Haiti that had a family, that had 3 daughters, and came to America. He probably would have, I like America. I want to go. I want to stay
so.
here.
You're saying if there was another man from Haiti who never came to America, your dad would have more exposure, so he might think differently than somebody who never.
Yes, it's a possibility that could happen. I'm not saying that's 100%. Yes, it's going to happen.
Before he came
It's a
here,
possibility.
the person that he was before, it doesn't. The person that you were yesterday, you're not the same person today. It's just, it doesn't matter what it is, where you are, who you are. You can accept that this is who you are, but even in here, you know something changed. You can accept that, nah, this is just me. However, you're a little less harsh. You're a little less laid back. You're a little less than something than when you were yesterday.
You
regardless.
changed somehow.
So I have a question. Your dad came here, and you're saying he moved back and still has the same mindset. When he was here, did he branch out here, or did he just?
he did though. My mom
He
tried
did.
to make him branch out.
But he
So
didn't.
like when he was here, he was exposed to different things, to different people. He did different things. My mom like had him like, we went to like Florida, we went to like Virginia and all that stuff. But like he was still the same person. Like he was still the person.
He probably had the same approach, but he definitely wasn't the same person.
And on top of that, that's many years of how old was he when he moved?
He was.
He already spent most of his teens and 20
like
years.
the developmental years.
I'm saying like not all the time. Like your exposure will change who you are. It might change. How you view certain things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It might validate. Your thoughts on certain things, like my dad, for him moving here validated that, him staying in Haiti, that's his life.
Exactly.
But like, he knows that before he came here, he knew he didn't want to come here. He knew Haiti was his home country. He came here, he experienced the life, he didn't like it. He went back and so it didn't change him. It didn't change really his mindset in a way. It just mostly validated his mindset that what he knows, that's what he's sticking with.
But that's what he accepted. He chose not to. He chose to not want to accept the exposure he was given. But he, like you said, the things that you formed was when you were older. He already formed what it is that his thought process was.
What I'm saying is when you were young, what they're saying is that when you were young and your younger years, you came here when you were 4. Whereas
so you still got
I don't know, 4 is
exposure
the
and
right age,
stuff.
but 9. But stop, you know what I mean?
Young.
What I'm saying is you were still a kid.
Your still brain is
you're
that's
still
where the
developing.
exposure.
So as a kid, if you see zebras,
you see
zebras is whoa, cool. But if you didn't see zebras till you're 50, you're that's not a zebra.
Fucking zebras. I see them on TV.
But
so he was already at a state where he's I had kids.
But I think also it's something that comes into play would be mental health.
That as well. But you can't change that. It can. Mental health can alter based on your exposure, but you have to, even in your mental health issues, you still have to accept what it is you're being exposed to. If you just accept this is my mental health, somewhere in there, whether it's derailed or not, somewhere you can accept something. because you, even with a mental ailment, you still weren't the same person when you were 5, when you were 20 or 30 or 50. You may still be very, 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 very disabled, but you still didn't think the way that you thought when you were 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 35. That's just...
I was just talking more of like the broader scheme. Like back then I knew I didn't want a simple life. Like it was the same back then as it is now. That's what I mostly was talking about when it comes to like your exposure. I was in Haiti. I was exposed to the life in Haiti. I knew I didn't want a simple life.
You didn't want to stay there.
Yeah. I came here. I lived the life. I know what I'm older now. I know what I was exposed to, my experiences and stuff. And I still know I don't want a simple life.
Yeah, but if you were taught in Haiti that nothing exists except for Haiti, you can't think that you want more than life in Haiti.
I mean,
but everybody knows something.
Well, she can want more.
She can want more.
Haiti than what she had in Haiti.
So, for example, I was raised where like religion was the only thing, like Christianity and like Catholicism was the only thing that I knew. Like there was nothing else besides it.
Okay.
And then like I came here and like I'm still raised the same way, but like I still had my thoughts about it. I still questioned it. So just because that's something I know that like they taught me there's no other thing besides this, I still know like, okay, if there's nothing besides it, then there must be nothing. Yeah. So I'm focusing on there's nothing because that's not, like you
still
said,
have that choice.
Right. So like even though like you're exposed, there's nothing else, even though there's nothing else, but there's still that nothing else. So it's not that. So like,
but you still have a choice to make that decision. Right. Like you either do or you don't. That's what I'm saying. It's just when you do, you can only do it based on what it is you're taught. Like you're over time, you're taught. You interpret what it is that you're being taught. Like you.
So is being taught in like experience like the same thing?
No.
So like.
Because you can learn, because what it is that you experience.
You said being taught, so you're not being taught like your exposures, like you're being exposed to different things.
You learn what your exposures mean, but you're taught like a definition of what it is that's in front of you. The definition is consensus of the world, of what it is, of everyone, that the majority, but your experience is you.
Right.
So you learn to understand by what it is that you're taught, and you make your decision on which way you go.
So like in like in Annalise's example and stuff like that, like her dad like staying here and only knowing here and
you're whispering.
In Annalise's example and in Annalise's example where like her dad was like that was the only thing that he was taught. So like
he chose
to keep thinking that way because his mental health, and it was just easiest. And that's another, what we were talking about before, is like people just settle, and those are the ideas that he wanted to think. And it's comforting to him, and he's too scared to branch out and see new or different things. And it's just, so it's easier to just say and to make himself feel better because he has no self-confidence. And I'm not saying
and that goes back to what you're saying.
To say like, oh, like, everything outside of Southington is just
whack,
trash.
Do you think like, things will actually like, if he went out and branched out and experienced different things, do you think that would change like the way?
No, because we've gone out to it. No, it's
at
too.
This time,
it's too based off the therapy my brother has.
And if he has mental illness, then definitely no.
We're not saying he does have mental illness because we can't say that.
He said if.
I did say
I know. I'm so. I just have to. But based off of things that my brother has said, just with his own relationship with my dad, I don't think there's any change. I think once you get to a certain point of thinking for something so long, is that there is no going back. And like, I really wish, even like, I don't know. This
is a good connect for the first topic when we talk about like why people change and if people want to change and stuff.
They would have to want to. They would have to. How they think, you would have to believe. Well, there was some point in your life where you have to believe the way that you think is a problem, or is wrong, or
Could be adjusted.
can be adjusted. Like, you would have to believe that what you're thinking is not the only way, or is a problem. If you don't think something is a problem, you can't fix it.
Yeah,
So if nothing is broken, what are you fixing? To you, your reality, and then everything is going to happen.
But it's
regardless.
almost like you're almost creating. It's almost like you're so anxious that your reality will get broken that you just keep like hounding it on other people.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough
But I
thing.
would definitely say the
Abusive
is worse
Really
because
worse.
it's like as a picture, it's like throwing just sandbags on
Yeah.
you. Whereas like absent father, it's like you
don't know what you're missing.
You don't know what you're missing, and your dad could be.
I turned out great, right?
Well, I mean, both aren't ideal.
Oh,
No,
But what I'm saying is like you don't have to carry. Like you don't have to feel. Yes, for the rest of my
because that's something you
freaking
experience. I didn't experience nothing.
Exactly. So
Granted,
it's like
sucks,
your dad in your mind. Your dad could like how they say little kids are like my dad's Superman.
Yeah.
Like you can be
you build your confidence off that second perspective.
Yeah.
Do you think that you lack anything, or that like maybe you miss out on certain things, or you wish you could have done things different?
I think I lack confidence, communication, because a lot of times with especially living with all women, my sister, my little sister, my mother, being on the grandson of my family, it was more like they came at me. It was kind of like what, go straight, you got it, you won.
But that's also because of the way society raised men.
Yeah,
we have to accept that whatever a woman says goes.
You feel me?
So without that father figure, he can't be like
this is how it's going.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Like, so you guys think that whatever women says goes? That's crazy.
That's
in my house. It was like you ain't shit. I was told as a kid that because I'm a woman that I get nothing, and that
an abusive father would be like, you got to understand why I'm saying no to you.
Yeah,
he's gonna elaborate and tell you, no, I don't want you to do this. Not you ain't shit, or I don't want you to do it because you're a piece of shit and all this other crap. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna explain certain things differently than an abusive father.
He'll let you know, like.
He's gonna be assertive, but
hopefully, because not all the time my parents told me why they were whooping my ass.
Facts.
But like at least like once they're done whooping that ass, they'll probably come back and be like, this is what you did wrong, and like this is why like I had to do what I did. I'm not saying that's what happened to me, but like
I have to say that I'm very lucky that it wasn't like physical or anything. I mean, there were threats. Like I definitely got it. No, there were a lot of threats. So I remember as a kid, just my dad would say that he would slam my head up against the wall and watch the blood dry as it ran down. But it was there was only one time that I almost remember him getting physical with my sister, is that she didn't do something that he wanted her to do, because he would ask us to do many things. But like, he went to like almost grab her hair and like yank it back, but he just stopped. Like, I just remember watching from out the window and he was like this and he just stopped. And then he was like, Abby! That's my sister's name. But like, never physical. But like, there were a lot of threats of like, I'll do this or I'll do that. Or if I never had you kids, my life would be so much better. I'd have a boat. I'd have this,
Do you guys consider ass whoopings or like excessive force during ass whoopings?
There's negative reinforcement.
As like abuse?
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be.
There's plenty of times the parents don't need to whoop children out, because there's times I got hit because I didn't know how to spell shit. Like, why you know how to spell this shit? You know what? Like,
I don't know how to spell because I'm learning.
You feel me? Like, it's a process. Like, in order to
that's like me with 6 times 4, 24,
or be able to accomplish something, you have to fail.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand that. Like, that's what I learned at work today. We had a meeting about failing. In order to, you have to fail in order to be good. Mm-hmm. Failing is good. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So the fact that I didn't know how to do the fact that I didn't know how to do certain things as a young kid, it shouldn't have been negative reinforcement because I didn't know how to do so. It should be like, okay, you didn't do that well.
that's why perfectionism is formed in some people, because they're taught that if they make mistakes or fail, like, it's so bad, and so that's why you become
there's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
No
So where I see it is that absent fathers, you can have you have more opportunity to go the way that you believe that your way is.
You can find your own path.
And an abusive father, you develop tendencies that you don't even know that's taught,
that hinder you.
That
what she was saying earlier, that I was trying to say.
That's what I mean.
Do
but
you think
she
it's your
became
responsibility though? Like, it becomes your responsibility to like find those tendencies and like change them for
eventually
the better?
you have to know that it is your responsibility.
I don't know,
because
it's not. But at some point you're gonna be like, you have to change yourself. You have to realize that, I went through this. I have to better myself now. It's like I can't keep living this way. If I don't change it, I'm gonna just be like,
why do you say you don't know?
I don't know, because I have a best friend who had a abusive father, but he tries not to be so much like him that he becomes like him.
And that's him have to realize that.
Right. So that's him not accepting
himself, accepting that what he went through.
Right.
So that he can change.
That has to do with his confidence. So it's more of
a lack of confidence.
You have to feed into focusing on the difference of you.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to do this because he did it. No, you do it in a different way.
Yeah. No, I mean, so a lot of people who are abused, they're like,
it's my parents' fault.
I'm only the way I am because of the way my parents raised me.
That's acceptance, and that's your confidence.
But I don't think it's necessarily acceptance, because you're accepting that they did something to you and that's why you're the way you are. Whereas, like, if it's something that
people
like
just settle.
Exactly. Like, you're accepting that he did what he did and like that's why you're the way you are, but you're not accepting that like he did what it is, and like, you're accepting that you were abused, you're accepting that you did wrong in a way, and like you're gonna change that. You're not gonna use that as an excuse as to why you're the way you are.
Yeah, my parents did that to me, so I'm gonna do that to you.
Yeah.
It's that story you told me about the twin boys and the one, like, for like, you could be like, oh, like,
you want me to tell the story?
Yeah, you can. You hold this down because this is a lot of pressure.
So, like, basically, there were these twin boys who their father like abused them physically. They both grew up. The father died, whatever. They both grew up. One became like a lawyer, and he was very successful. Has like a loving family and like kids of his own, where he's like, absolutely adores him and stuff. And then you have the other brother who became like just like his father. He became a raging drunk. He became like abusive to his own kids and all that stuff. And when you ask them, like, why are you the way you are? They both said, because of my father. Yeah. So, like, in the sense of like the one who became the lawyer and who had his acceptance, he accepted that his father hurt him. He accepted that he had his own faults. He took through it. Right. He worked through his issues. He took the time and he decided who he wanted to be.
Therapy.
Self-therapy. He decided who he wanted to be and not what his father, like, quote unquote, made him.
I could be like my father, or I could be the opposite.
Right. It was your choice. You decided to reject the abuse that your father put upon you, and you decide to make your own person. Or you can just accept that your father abused you and that's who you are, and you can't do anything about it, and you're just gonna live like that.
Do what I did. Yeah, I got to me. I'm gonna just do it to my kids. Simple.
But
yeah, I think that in my situation, I think my dad took how he was raised and said, like, it's unfair and put it on us. Yeah. But I think I'm a generation where I'm saying, like, I don't want my kids to have to suffer like this. So, like, this is,
I was going to say, take a shit.
I just think I'm like, I don't want my kids to suffer like this, so I'm going to change myself for the better of them, because I never want them to have to go through this. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I was, in a few months,
I'm sorry, but to with that, is just, you say it now, just
follow through.
Gotta follow through. It's easy to say something and then actually do it.
Yeah.
Just like, you're not gonna remember this now probably, but when you do have kids and you get to that point, you probably not gonna remember. But then it's like, because your parents probably did the same thing.
It just takes effort.
Like that, they did the exact same thing.
But I think what's I'm trying to put together is her question is like, do you still feel responsible to? What was your question about?
I think I said something like, is it your responsibility to change
yourself?
To change yourself, like,
yes, because you're the only one responsible
based
for you
off
and
what
your
parents did to you.
And then
I think it is your responsibility because at some point
if you're aware and you're doing nothing,
yeah.
At some point you have to realize when you get to a certain like with my mother, there's things I used to blame her for. Like, yo, why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that? But now I started to realize like she did the best she fucking could.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I went through that shit. I can't keep holding on to that shit.
It may not have been the best for you or like what you have wanted, but it was what she could have done.
So instead of sitting there blaming her and sitting like, oh, I wish things could have been dwelling on the past, I say, you know what? I accept it because I want that that bond me to my mom to be a little stronger. I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna forgive her. That was a big step. Mm-hmm. Forgive her, accept what happened, and I'm gonna try to therapy myself and just
maybe I misunderstood the question.
Yeah, just correct myself about what I need to do for me because now she's at her age where she's about to retire and stuff like that. I'm at an age where I need to handle my own shit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
So your mom's at the age, but she about to retire.
Well, she got like 6 more years.
That's
close enough.
I was about to retire like next year.
If it was 10, that'd be different. 5 years.
What's the retirement age?
Like 62 or something.
Yeah, but
like
6
that.
years, that's nothing. That's only.
Your mom's in her low 50s, so she got
plenty of time.
Yeah, but I mean,
50's the new 30.
No, it depends on how long you work there.
Right?
My mom worked.
No, I think retirement age is still 60.
No,
Isn't it
depends
62?
on the organization.
Well, I know that at the Y you can get you can be an old
It depends on the organization. The average is the number.
Yeah, that's the average.
I know people retire at different ages, but
you can choose to,
like
I'm over 30.
You start getting your Social Security at like 62.
Yeah, but you're talking about the government.
Yeah.
She's retiring from
money she saved
the organization.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, but based off of that, that's
I think all in all, I think we all agree that
abusive.
Both of them is very dwindling.
Not fun.
But abusive is definitely the worst.
Definitely.
And I wouldn't wish anybody to have either one, but unfortunately, that's just the reality. And, you got to think positive and keep on pushing through because your life matters. And
please get help.
Facts.
Talk to a therapist. It's amazing.
It sure is. Don't talk to the barber. Don't talk to the hair salon person. Don't talk to your best friend. Talk to a professional.
I talked to Scar.
Don't talk to animals. Don't talk to insects.
Cabinets.
Don't talk to walls. Don't talk to anything inanimate.
Scar's a good listener, guys.
Don't talk to anybody who's just listening. Talk to a professional.
Listen, but they need to give input sometimes.
He gives input.
Hotline.
Right now, he just turned his face away from you.
What does that mean?
He's not willing to listen to you. Like you're saying something.
Hey guys, Big Body here. Don't we have a special treat for you? Listen, we had a game that we played, and we need to know who won. So please comment so we can see who won the Feed Me Challenge. So what it is myself and Equan went against each other with Annalise and Daph. We need to know who ate the most in 60 seconds. So here it is.
That's the avocado, Daphne. This is tortilla.
Yep, you got it. Oh God, leave. That's yeah.
Reach. That's the meat.
Yep, put it in there. Yep, more to your right foot. Grab it. Yep, put it in there. Nice.
Avocado right there.
Nice little meat. Yep.
I know that's a
Yep, little avocado.
Annalise.
Yep. Oh, you got a far reach, far left. Yep. Grab it. Don't grab it. Yeah. Grab it. Nice. Four. Grab it. Oh, that's so. Oh my God, that's so much. Oh my God. All right. Yep. Grab the tortilla. All right. Slowly. You're making it. All right. Bring it up.
Easy. Oh, nice. Put it down. Now wrap this bitch up. Wrap. Put it sideways.
How's he doing?
No, what would you do?
Okay.
Another one.
You have to make another.
No. in my neck, nigga. As soon as I hear eat it. It's my neck. I can't eat nothing. God.
Hey, yo!
Yo, I'm going with it.
Where the fuck is the burrito?
In my stomach, man.
The bread is, nigga.
Damn, you want some mad salsa in there.
She bought 9 salsa in that set.
When I looked, he said, yo, that's too much. I said, God damn. I said, you know, there's mad sauce on there. That shit gonna be sloppy, bro.
Everybody, look. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on True Juice at oh shit, what is that?
True
True
Juice
Juice Co. _. TRUTHJUICECO _ on all social media. Let everybody know. Come take a sip with us. Peace.
Or have a taco.
You got sauce all over your face.
Whatever it takes to take the dub, you feel me?
Who took the dub though? All your content's in there.
I ate the burrito.
Okay.
We got a video.
We're gonna go off the video.
To go off the video.